Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me on The Maker's Intent, brought to you by A.F. Johnson Millwork Company. I am joined once again by Kyle Greenfield, president of A.F. Johnson Millwork. How are we doing today, Kyle?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. The weather outside's been great, so if you guys are ever doing any outside stuff today, would have been a great day to do it. But today we are going to be talking about something completely different, something we haven't talked about at all yet, and which is kind of nice for you because sometimes I know you feel like we get a little repetitive in these saying, "Oh, I brought this up," but this one's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to be talking about how millwork communicates brand authority. So we're going to be talking about how does custom millwork communicate brand authority in corporate spaces. So, Kyle, let me ask you this. Why do companies invest in custom millwork for their offices and corporate spaces?
Well, a lot of different reasons that I can think of, Mike. Mainly, we're going to help them continue the color schemes and brands that they've built out. So it, especially if they have multiple different locations and they want to carry the same feel of everything. When you walk into an office in Des Moines, Iowa, where we're at, it looks very similar and feels a lot like their same office, somewhere else in the country. So when you have a customer walk in, they get the same feeling no matter where they're at. Um, the other thing that I think a lot of corporations use it for is to um, indicate more how they want their people to feel when they come in. So if they want a light, whimsical, fun environment, you can use the different color schemes and uh, ways that they're built for that. Also, you can have a lot more rich or some law office almost go with intimidating. So as they're bringing people in, it feels very serious,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
can convey that with their color schemes and layouts and things also, which is kind of interesting to me.
No, very much so. The fact that you can almost control someone's emotional state on the surface with your millwork. I mean that's amazing. That's great, and that's very intentional. So that kind of leads me to my next question. So how can material choices in millwork communicate a company's brand and level of quality?
Well, a lot of times it has to do with the rareness of what they're picking. So for the higher end corporate, a lot of the designers will pick a specific wood, not just the type of wood, but the actual logs that are going to be turned into the
Really?
cabinets and the wall panels and things like that, uh, which is insane. But they will pick it out in a design and reserve those specific logs. And by the time construction comes around, it might be a year or two later. So then we're working with the mills to get those done exactly how they want them. And they call them match grade. So the match grade wood comes out, and you can almost see the pattern of that specific log go all the way through the cabinet line or the wall panel line. It's really cool how they do that.
Wow. That's amazing. And since I've been talking to you, I do notice little things here and there when I go into places, and yeah, I and things that I would have never looked at before. So that's why I love these podcasts with you so much. So, what design details matter most in executive offices, boardrooms, and other high level corporate spaces? What design details
Well,
are the most important?
it depends on the corporate customer.
True,
Most of the time,
true.
they want that room to be highly functional, and so a lot of them are bringing in pretty big technology anymore for conference calls and video calls and so forth. The cool part about that is they don't necessarily want it to look like a sterile room of screens. So we get to help incorporate the screens into like wall panels or something to that effect, or sometimes even use a wall panel to cover it. So it can be moved or up and down, something like that. And then we talked about in a different episode, sound control,
Mm-hmm.
keep the room from echoing and or give it better acoustical feel. And I believe we were talking about wood slats for that, but we can
Yep.
do a lot of cool different things with that. Um, so that that room is not only beautiful, but very, very functional. And then a lot of times storage too. So we're building cabinets that match wall panels and to hide different things. And those cabinets can be recessed. And so it looks like it's just part of a wall. And those are pretty cool.
So you were talking about when you're building these rooms and putting, some of the technological elements in there. So how can technology be integrated custom mill custom millwork without compromising its overall design?
Yeah, we just did a large, I guess, another office for a big national company, and they had microphones throughout their corporate boardroom. They had multiple, not boardrooms, but multiple conference rooms in this, and they had different microphones in these great big rooms. So if somebody's sitting at one end of the table, they can be heard as far as the other end of the table. Where little conference rooms might have just one spider phone in the middle. This one's using microphones throughout, so everybody can be picked up the same way. And then they're kind of hidden in these ceiling panels that are built, and that's pretty cool. You walk in, you wouldn't even know they're there, and yet there's like 10, 15 microphones that nobody even knows is around.
That is cool. That is very cool. So, what does custom millwork offer that off the shelf furniture cannot?
Well, we can give you the exact look that you want. Going back to the match grade stuff, you can
Yep.
pick out exactly the log you want, and everything's going to look the exact same and extremely custom. Whereas some of the veneers for off the shelf stuff are printed, they're actually computer generated to look like a log. So they're, in my opinion, there's not a ton of character to that. Yours is going to look exactly like every other one that was printed. Um, it can look great,
Yep.
but just not that fun. Where when you're picking it out, it's going to be specific to your environment.
Yeah, that kind of leads me into my next question, which is, it pretty much ties into what you were just saying. So, how can custom millwork reinforce a company's values, culture, and brand identity?
Well, we can start to build that brand right into it. We can um, build logos into it. We just did a building for a university and um, had their university mascot into the wall panels in a couple of different locations. So you walk in the room and have these beautiful wall panels that all match, and then it's a bear is in I guess burnt into the wood. That's really cool when you can put a logo up there or a mascot up there. I think very custom, very cool look.
Yeah, that definitely is going to set your brand and identity apart. That's really cool. So, excuse me. I know that we can't really like get into specifics because you don't know everybody's P&L statement, but this is kind of your opinion that I'm looking for here. So, um, in your opinion, Kyle, what kind of return can companies see from investing in high quality corporate millwork, especially in like client retention, recruitment, investor confidence? Kind of go into all that in what your opinion is on how they can benefit from investing in a little extra.
Well, for me, when I walk into some of these offices when they're done, just shows that this company is for real. They're going to be here and going to be here for a long period of time. I feel like some of those that are just off the shelf or more IKEA style furniture, when you walk in, you kind of go, are they going to be here tomorrow? I don't know. Where somebody's investing some serious money into it, I feel like it gives them a lot more of a long-term feel. They're going to be here. They're going to take care of you for the long run. Again, just my opinion on that, Mike.
No, no, but I totally agree. The only thing though, Kyle, this is kind of a joke, but someone does get a piece of that furniture that you talked about. I won't say their name again, but if they can actually get that thing put together, they might not be there for a long time, but I do have a lot of respect for them.
And there's nothing wrong with that brand. They do a great job and it's definitely useful, but I
You
think
know what I'm saying, though.
they would even say that they're made for residential use, not commercial use.
Absolutely. But I tell you, the people that actually put those things together on their own and don't have them pre-built, they've got a level of genius that I'll never have. Not saying they're smart, but they got some puzzle solving skills. they aren't they're not easy. I tried it once.
Yeah, very, very much.
So even I would say even you as a professional, you probably got to look at some of those things and go, really? This is how they did it? But all right,
some of them are actually genius on how they get them together, how they design them to go together.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's your favorite time. It's the end of our podcast, or nearing the end, and it's story time. So Kyle, today I'm going to ask you to share a story of a corporate project where custom millwork played a major role in strengthening the company's brand presence.
Well, again, because it's new, I'm going to go back to that university we just finished, and it was a advancement center. In other words, in a kind of an alumni center that we were doing, and that university is using it specifically to get more donor money.
Are you able to share which university that was? Are you able to share which university that was?
Missouri State University.
And you said that's their advancement center?
Missouri State University. Yes.
Very good. And what were you saying that they use that room for? I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted you.
So bringing in donors and alumni, I guess probably not alumni too, they're trying to get more donations and get that money flowing in better. So they really are big on wanting their brand of Missouri State there with their bears on the wall and stuff. It's an impressive building.
So if you're down in the Missouri State area, definitely anybody listening to this should probably stop in just to see what you can do, huh? All right, Kyle, are you still there with me? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. I'm going to speak.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. I kind of lost you there for a second, which is okay. But anyway, I was just telling people if they're down in the Missouri State area, stop in, see the kind of work that you can do, and then until we talk next time, I think next time we'll see if we can come up with something different so you don't have to keep going back to the same stories for me, Kyle.
Sounds great.
All right, buddy. I look forward to our next recording. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.